My name is Chika, and this is a story of how I became a stranger in my own world. I was born in a village where the earth was our mother. She gave us everything: food, water, medicine, shelter, even our sense of dignity. The land was so fertile that if you dropped a seed carelessly, it would sprout in just a few days, as if the soil itself was eager to feed you. Every morning, we woke to the songs of birds greeting the sunrise, the melodies blending with the sweet smell of dew, resting on green leaves. Our rivers ran crystal clear, cold and refreshing, water so pure you could cup it in your hands and drink without fear. The air we breathed was alive, the kind of air city people would pay millions for today. Our lives were simple, yet rich. Cocoa trees grew tall, their pods heavy with seeds that foreigners would one day call black gold. Cassava fields stretched like green oceans. Yam barns overflowed. Palm trees swayed with the wind. The oil as red as the setting sun. Oil that could make any man wealthy beyond his dreams. We had our own doctors, our grandmothers, and herbalists. They could walk into the forest and return with roots and leaves that healed fevers, cured snake bites, and helped women in childbirth. No one slept hungry, no one was homeless, and above all, no one feared another man's power because the land itself made us free. But then they came, the colonizers, not with swords, but with words dripping like honey, sweet but deadly. They told us our ways were barbaric. They said our ancestors were demons, that the gods who gave us rain and sunshine were evil spirits, that our dances were rituals of the devil, our festivals gateways to hell. They told us that if we stayed, the curses of our fathers would hunt us down. They painted our sacred forests as places of witches and darkness. They said salvation was far away in their cities, under their religion, under their rules. And just like that, the seed of fear was planted in me. I began to see my own people differently. The wrinkled elder who told us stories by the fire, I began to wonder if his chants were dangerous spells. The sacred drumbeats that once made my blood dance now made me uneasy. Even the moonlight, under which lovers met and warriors told tales, began to feel like the watchful eye of something sinister. And so I ran. I left my cocoa-rich village. I left the yam barns, the palm oil, the cassava fields. I left the land where my footprints had meaning and went to the city because they told me that was where civilization lived. Ah, but I did not know I was running from a kingdom into a cage in the city. I quickly learned that nothing was free. The air was thick with smoke and dust. Every breath felt like swallowing the street. The water tasted like rust, unless you bought it in a bottle. And food, food. I found myself paying money just to eat the same cassava that grew wild in my village. Here, I lived in another man's house. The landlord was king, and I was nothing. Many times, I saw neighbors thrown into the street for late rent. In the dead of night, loud knocks, shouting, and by morning, the mattresses lay in the gutter. The man I worked for owed me salary for months. But each time I asked, he told me to be patient. Patient, as if patience could boil yam or pay rent. Yet I stayed because the thought of going back to my demonic village still haunted me. But the irony, in the city, the very evils they said lived in my village were here and worse. Men cheated men without shame. Women sold their dignity just to eat. People prayed in fine churches, but stole with the same hands they lifted to heaven. One of my neighbors lost his brother in an accident. The doctors refused to treat him until payment was made, and he died. And yet, no one called this witchcraft. Sometimes, when hunger grips me so tight, my stomach feels like it is eating itself. I remember the village. I remember the smell of roasted yam on market day. I remember the sound of pestles pounding fufu in the late afternoon. I remember the laughter of my people, loud and unrestrained, not the tired faces and fake smiles I see in the city. I remember the land, a land where cocoa farmers still sell to foreigners for fortunes, where palm oil flows like red rivers in the market, where goats and chickens roam freely, food on legs, where the forest hides gold, coal, and precious stones that strangers come to dig, a land that could make any man a millionaire in 1 year if only he believed it was enough. But me, I am trapped, not by chains, but by a cage built in my mind. A cage of fear. Fear that if I return, the devils they told me about will destroy me. Fear that I will be mocked for turning back. Fear that I will have to face the truth, that I left my inheritance for the illusion of a better life. One day, as I sat under a small shed in the city, waiting for rain to stop, I met an old man. His clothes were patched, but his eyes were bright, the kind of bright you cannot buy. He told me something I will never forget. Young man, they told you your roots are cursed because they wanted the tree to die, but you can water it again. It struck me like thunder. I realized then they never just wanted my land, they wanted my mind. They wanted me to despise my own source, so that even if they gave it back, I would never touch it. They wanted me to be a worker in their factory rather than a master in my own. That night, I lay awake, thinking of my father's voice. Years ago, Chika, a man without his land, is like a fish without water. He may still breathe, but he will never truly live. Now, I am making a decision. The city has drained me. My pockets are empty. My landlord has given me 1 more month. My boss still owes me. And in my village, the cocoa pods are ripe. The yam barns are full. The palm trees are heavy with oil. I may return, not just to live, but to rebuild, to plant, and to harvest, to show the young ones that we are not cursed, to remind them that the same ancestors they call evil were the ones who fed entire generations without hunger. Because I now know there was no demon in my land. The only demon was the lie they planted in my mind. And so I say to every Chika, in every village, every city, every corner of the world, go home. Your land is still there. Your wealth is still there. The rivers still run. The soil still waits. Do not let them make you a stranger in your own kingdom. When you abandon your root, you lose your fruit. But when you return to your root, even the fruits you lost will find their way back to you. If this story has touched your spirit, don't let it vanish into the shadows of time. Subscribe, like, and share so our history continues to breathe. And in the comments, tell us the next forgotten story you'd like us to bring back to life.